Greetings, welcome back to Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Anubis Gate album, Denmark's finest progressive metal band. They've just released a new album called Interference on No Dust Records. It's a fantastic album. Guys, check this one out. You won't be disappointed. Originally formed in the mid-80s, the band didn't actually release their debut album until 2004. This would feature members Morten Sorensen on drums, would have Pierre M. Jensen, like I said, on guitar, sadly passed away, and also vocalist Torben Alström. The debut album was called Purification, released on Locomotive Records. This is a fantastic debut album, especially if you're a fan of King Crimson Glory, Fate's Warning, and Kingsbane. Now, the second album featured Hendrik Five on vocals and also a new guitarist, found also still in the band now, Kim Olsen. This album was called Forever Perfect, a fantastic follow-up to the debut. Now, the band's third album was called Andromeda Unchained. This would feature producer and guitarist Jacob Hansen, who took over on vocals and guitar. Brilliant guitarist, a fantastic singer, and a fantastic all-round producer. The band would release the next album called The Attached in 2009, also released on Locomotive Music. The next album will be called Anubis Gate, self-titled, released in 2011, followed by Horizons in 2014. The next album would be Covered in Black, 2017, and then the 2020 Covered in Colours, all released on Nightmare Records. And like I said, the new album is released on No Dust Records. So the current lineup for the band we have now is Kim Olsen on guitar and keyboards. We'd have Hendrik Five, bass and vocals. We'd also have Michael Bonin on guitars and Morten Gurden Sorensen on drums. And so this new album was finally mixed by Kim Olsen on guitars, also produced by the band. The mastering was done by Jacob Hansen, and the overall production is fantastic. It's solid, really powerful, and the songs really do shine through. This album comes with 10 songs. I'm going to tell you what the song titles are for this album. We start with Emergency, Ignorance is Bliss, Number Stations, The Phoenix, Equilitions, Disonis Consonis. Then we'd have the Interference, Dream of Stardom, Worlds of Clay, Interference, and the last song, Absence. This band have certainly gone a long way since the debut albums. Like I said, the Fate's Warning, Crimson Glory certainly faded out from previous albums. There's still a little bit of Fate's Warning in the band's music, but the technicality, they have some strange, interesting parts to their music of today's music. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Voivod, the way they do the experimentations, and the same thing could be said for Anubis Gate. Now, I feel that Hendrik is a fantastic singer. He's come a long way since he's joined this band, and Hendrik will join the band for the album in 2009, The Detached. He's a great singer, fantastic addition to the band. Jacob Hansen's also a fantastic singer, but he left the band to continue with doing other projects as well as producing albums. Now, the first song, Emergency, is a really good opening track. Starts off with a little intro, but soon builds up into a progressive, heavy song. Hendrik's vocals are fantastic. The guitar playing by Kim is absolutely great as well. And the rhythm section by the rest of the band have done a fantastic job. I have to say another thing about Anubis Gate, they've definitely found their own identity. A lot of bands can't do that, but there are elements of other bands in there. But for this band, these guys have done a brilliant job over the years. Definitely found a unique sound, mixing with other influences like Fate's Warning, a little bit of Voivod in there. But generally, they are a fantastic band with a unique sound. Having said that, I think Anubis Gate do have some elements of Egyptian vibes in their music. After all, Anubis Gate does come from the Egyptian times. So they're mixing the Egyptian sort of vibe, spaced out vibe with progressive metal works really well for Anubis Gate. Now, the next song is called Ignorance is Bliss. This is a really cool song. Has that kind of vibe of Voivod, a little bit of Dream Theater and Fate's Warning. Maybe some elements of Evergrey, but there's definitely a vibe of the modern style of Dream Theater in there. Now, I really like the heaviness of this song, the rhythm section, and the heavy detuned guitar sound of Kim Olsen with Hendrik's fantastic vocals. Next song is called Number Stations. This kind of reminds me of Devin Townsend and also a band called Nightingale, which featured Dan Swanner. And also another Danish band called Paramaze. Now, I may have said this before in previous reviews. Paramaze and Anubis Gate are both from Denmark, and they both have similarities. Now, I also have to say about this album, it's slightly heavier going than previous albums, but it is a really good album. Give it more than one spin, folks. Heavy going album, but the more you play this album, the more you'll get into it. I've started to really enjoy this album. Now, I also have to say about this song, Number Stations, I really like Kim's guitar playing, especially towards the end of the song. There's some fantastic guitar, melodic rhythms here. Done a fantastic job. The song all around is really strong, beautifully composed. Now, the next song is called The Phoenix. This kind of reminds me of the old school new romantic music, kind of like Japan. So you can see where the band are influenced by that style of music. And it mixes really well with progressive dark elements that this band compose. So I really like the way that this song is composed for The Phoenix. It's definitely got the old school new romantic vibe in it, like I said, Japan. Gary Newman, but it mixes well with the elements of dark progressive metal. Now, the next song, Inquisitions, I really like this song. It kind of reminds me of a band from Norway called Pagan's Mind, especially with the song structures and the keyboards. Ronnie's keyboards do remind me of Anubis Gate. So this is a brilliant song. It's very dark, but it's fantastically composed with some great music and vocals. Now, the next song, Dissonance. Concernment is a really interesting song. This is a song that you're going to have to listen to a couple of times. It's not a real heavy song, but it's really well put together with some really spaced out ideas. At times, it kind of reminds me of the band King's X, something that they would do when they wanted to do spaced out music. And also Psychotic Waltz in some respect, kind of really strange vibe to this song, but it's a beautiful composed song with some great lyrics and music. All in all, this is a brilliant album. So if you are a fan of Anubis Gate, please check out this album. It's a brilliant album to all the previous albums. And if you've not heard the band before and you want to listen to something different with a different vibe, darker, interesting, this album is definitely for you. Now, the album's called Interference, released on No Dust Records. I'm going to give this album 5 out of 5. It's a brilliant album. I wish the band the best of luck for the future and I hope to see these guys touring soon. So, guys, thanks for watching today. Please leave some comments. Let me know what you think of Anubis Gate. And thanks for watching and be safe. Stay metal, metalheads.